5% or less increase in the fee year to year in the two subsequent years.
Come back to us, okay.
I would be the second person to agree with that.
Okay, we're good with that? Okay, so we have a motion and a second. Does everyone understand Diane's motion? Okay. Why are you laughing, Sarah?
Trustee Escobar.
So I have a motion and a second. Is there any other discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, abstention, motion passes unanimously. Diane, are you up for the next one too?
Yes, I am. How much detail you want to go into this beautiful budget? For once in several years, we've had minimal change between the preliminary and final budget. At least final budget revenue numbers came in a little bit more than anticipated, which is good. I hope that is a good sign that our area is pulling out of the recession and our property values have stabilized and gone up a little bit. Some of the changes staff recommended from preliminary to the final budget is the making the part-time receptionist position to an office assistant position and offering an increase in hours for that part-time position in hopes to attract a better candidate pool when we go to fill that position. Then let's see. 100% prepared for this.
That's fine. They're real small.
It's very, very minimal. It's not very material.
Well,
You know,
we've
so
all got a copy of this.
yeah, everybody got a pretty detailed copy of it.
The only thing that we've discussed briefly, well, not forward discussed, I've talked to staff, is for those who don't know it, for the election in November, we're basically not going to be on the ballot because we're unopposed. So we're going to save about, what, about $13,000. Now, we have an option to let that stand right there, and we know in the back of our mind if we had anything, we can do an adjustment later, or we can go ahead and do something with that $13,000 now and put it into contingencies now. We have that option.
I like the option of adding the savings now that we know from the election, that we budgeted for election of contingency. So does that change all the numbers for
Yeah,
the?
it changes all your numbers.
Yeah,
Okay, that's fine.
it'll change services and supplies, lower that, and then increase it to the contingency. And all the other salaries and benefits, the fixed asset account will remain the
Right,
same.
everything's-
And then of course, the bottom line budget will remain the same.
So how much do we budget? Is it exactly 13? How much
We
we-
budgeted 15,000.
And how much is it going to cost us so far?
2,200.
Okay,
Usually it's a guess on it.
okay. But in reality, we don't know the final number
No.
since we haven't told, okay. So I would rather probably not cut it exactly what we think it's going to be, just to be in the safe side. You did 15.5, so if we do take 2,500 and save that there, we're probably going to be okay. Is everyone good with that, or have any other ideas? Because I know Terry's going to be thrilled to go out to run out and hurry type.
I personally think you should just leave it there.
I know you do. Thank you for your
I
input.
personally think you should leave it there.
Well, I mean, Terry's got a point. It's there. We know it's there.
There,
If
if
need
we
it,
wanted
we
to
can adjust
get
it during
something.
the year.
The reality of it is, if it's, for some reason, God forbid, if we have to dip into contingencies to
Right.
the tune of $160,000-$170,000, we have a bigger issue.
Right.
But the idea is you have approximately $161,000 in contingency. We know it's sitting there, and at some point in time, if there was a need to transfer it over, we could come back to the board and transfer it
Whatever
over.
we want, yeah.
So that way, if you don't transfer, if you don't change it now, then everything stays the same. If you do it at a later time, then we would adjust the budget accordingly.
So there's the options, folks. I was just bringing up, I'm not an advocate of that we have to switch it to contingency. I just said that's an option, but there's also the other option, just leave it the way it is. Because we know it's there.
We know it's there, and if something in services supplies goes over budget, then we don't have to go and do an appropriation adjustment with the county to move the money from contingency to services and supplies, like if our water bill goes outside or something like that.
If this helps the board out a little bit, I do anticipate sometime, excuse me, during this year that coming back to the board, and I want to wait till after half the year is up first to see where we're at, to possibly draw down the contingency just a little bit to address some of our playgrounds.
Okay.
That hopefully I was going to ask the board if he wanted to go next month and see if you want to do a park tour. Unless Alan wants us to wait until he gets back, it's not going to make any difference. But we might want to draw that down a little bit to make some repairs or replace the playground equipment.
Probably.
So at that time, we could,
You wait till I get back and you're in standard time and it's gonna be dark then. So I don't have a problem if you do.
or we can set it up at any time to do it.
Right, I understand.
Yeah.
I mean,
We'll give you a flashlight.
I'm sorry, did you have some?
No,
Okay.
no.
Thought I saw you.
No.
Okay.
But it's your call. We can work whatever way you want it, the board want, like Dan.
Just keep it in services and supplies, and then we.
I mean, no, that's fine.
Okay, okay. I mean, now that I know there's a desire to do some necessary repairs to the parks.
And there might be some other things we come back to as well.
Yeah.
But I do think we're going to make a change at another time.
Yeah. Like I said, I'm good with that. So, did I make a resolution in the packet or did I?
Yeah, there's
Yeah,
5:30, 5:36, and I have the appropriations
I got it.
limit.
Yeah, she's got it. So, if we're all good, does anyone want to make a motion to approve resolution 536?
I make a motion to approve resolution 536 with salaries and employee benefits of $864,190, services and supplies of $592,149, fixed assets under structures and improvements, $4,880, contingencies of $161,431, for a total fiscal year 14-15 budget of $1,622,650.
Yeah, that's dropped since the heyday.
I know.
We're at what, 2.6, 2.8?
I thought we were almost 3 million before one.
Yeah, it was
Well,
about-
that was
that's
redevelopment,
when
right?
we got some money,
Yeah.
grant money
Yeah.
and sold some property.
If I sit in on that meeting, I would like to second that.
Okay, I was gonna ask you if you did. Okay, so I have a motion and a second to accept the final budget for 2014-15. Is there any other discussion, questions? All right, hearing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Abstention? Thank you all. Thank you for committee for your hard work on both of the last two items. Next thing is resolution 537, the approval of the appropriation limitation schedule. Diane, why don't you explain everybody what this is?
Oh gosh, I can't explain that. I just know that I wish our budget would come up to or exceed $5,357,994. I do know it's a state requirement that we pass it every year. And it came into effect around the Prop 13 era when I was only about 12 or 13.
She looked at both of us when she said that.
Yeah.
For those who are here, I'll quickly explain what this next thing is. Like Diane said, back in 1979, the voters passed a proposition that was Prop 4, was later amended by Prop 11, that annually we have to pass this appropriation limit, which is based upon what our property tax was at the base year, and it can only increase by the addition of cost of living and population increase. So if, for whatever reason, if our tax base increased a lot, we would then have to either refund it to taxpayers who use it for capital improvement. Over the years, this keeps increasing, but property taxes were decreasing. So like Diane said, even though our budget was 1.6?
1.6.
1.6, our appropriation limit is now $5.3 million. So we're not even close. But by state law, we have to pass pass this.
And I don't think historically there aren't too many areas in Sacramento County that has met or exceeded it, or were there a couple
There have
at the
been a
peak
few
of
at
the
peak end.
market?
Right.
But that's
But
not the
not
case
very
now.
many.
Okay.
It's not lately.
So,
So we have resolution 537, and I'd like to,
make a motion to pass resolution 537 for fiscal year 14-15 in the amount of $5,357,994.
I'll second that.
all right. We have a motion and a second. Is there any other discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed, abstention, motion passes. Next item is item 11, payment of the bills. Board members, opportunity to ask questions or get clarification on the bills. Any questions? Terry's eagerly waiting, anything you have?
How's our water bill look?
No,
I was just looking at that.
It's a little, it's pretty much about $13,000.
And are we watering less? And it's
We are now.
increasing.
I suspect we're gonna have, if this continues, we'll see some sort of savings at the end of the year because we've reduced our watering considerably, twice a week.
Anyone else have any questions? If not, can I have someone make a motion to ratify payment of the bills?
So moved.
Second.
And we have a motion and a second. Are there any other questions? Hearing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, abstention? All right.
Mr. Chairman, one last thing
I'm
there,
sorry.
I forgot to do it earlier.
Okay.
We've had an addition to our NHRP family. A week ago tonight, Supervisor Mark Bruner welcomed a daughter to the world.
Oh,
Mother and daughter doing fine. Kaylee Bruner came in just under 8 pounds.
cool.
He said a week ago Thursday, so he was in the office today. Had that deer in the headlights, starry look in his eyes. Overheard him say, "She slept from midnight till 6 a.m. It was great." Yeah, that's basically what I was thinking. I've got 4, so don't get used to it.
Do you know anybody who just had a baby?
Yeah, my daughter just started to get a grass.
That's right. He's a grandpa.
August 6th, same day. So that deer in the headlights lasts for about 20-something years.
Yeah, you're right. It gets worse. Anyway, we're all real happy for Mark and his wife.
That's great. Okay, so the next regular meeting of the Board of Directors for the Highlands Recreation Park District will be Thursday, September 11th, 6:30 p.m. with Vice Chair Monk being in charge.
Yeah, I'll cut school to be there.
All right. We are adjourned.